and welcome back to Cooking with Suzanne. Today I'm very excited to make one of my favorite dishes, risotto. And I'm going to show you all the beautiful vegetables that I got at the market this morning. We have some beautiful spring peas, which are just so plentiful right now, and they're sweet and delicious and tender and just perfect for this dish. We also have some beautiful spring onions. These are also absolutely wonderful and very plentiful right now. Of course, always some fresh garlic has to go into our risotto. And then for herbs, I took from the garden some beautiful chives from our garden and also some beautiful fresh thyme. So that's all the ingredients basically that's going into our risotto, besides the arborio rice, of course, and a little bit of cheese and white wine, and we can actually get started. I also have some beautiful pea shoots that I was able to get at the market, which are really quite gorgeous. So we have some beautiful pea shoots, and we will garnish the top of the risotto with the pea shoots, and I also blanched some that's going to go into our risotto. So why don't we get started? I'm going to put a little bit of meat in this spring pea risotto. I'm going to put a little pancetta, which is known as an Italian bacon. The only difference between the pancetta and regular bacon is smoked and pancetta is not smoked. So we have to get our pan hot. I have a little portable stove here so that I can cook the risotto right in front of you, because most of the work is done right here. I'm going to put some extra virgin olive oil, a couple of tablespoons. I have my pan heating up. You could also put a little piece of butter in with your olive oil if you like. Not absolutely necessary. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just going to swirl that around. And I need to kind of see how hot I need to get this little portable stove. So we'll monitor that. And behind me, I have 8 cups of chicken stock. Of course, you can use vegetable stock if you want to make this completely vegetarian. And I have it on low. You need your stock to be hot in order to start cooking your risotto. So make sure you have it where it's just simmering. You don't need to boil it hard, just simmer. So about 8 cups to start. And to the pan, once this is hot enough, we're going to turn it up. I don't think it is quite there. We're going to start with our spring onions. If you cannot get spring onions, you could use a sweet onion, sweet Vidalia onion. What else could you use? You could use shallot. You could also use leek, or you can use a combination of those onions, but you definitely want something in the onion family to go into your risotto. So here we go. Now it's starting to sizzle a little bit, so I think I can go ahead and put my onion in, my spring onions. So I have a half a cup here. You can add more or less, whatever you like. So let's get those in, and we'll start to saute those. And then we'll talk about our next ingredient, which is the pancetta. I'm going to go ahead and put the pancetta in at the same time. I have 4 ounces diced. You can actually get pancetta actually already diced in a little package if you'd like. Otherwise, you can just get a piece, a thick piece, ask for a 4-ounce piece, and just dice it up yourself at home. So let me just throw the pancetta into the frying pan at the same time, and we will render the fat from the pancetta. So I have the pancetta on one side of my pan, and I have the spring onions on the other. And then the other ingredient to add would be our 3 cloves of garlic, finely minced. So here we go. But let's wait. You know I don't like my garlic to burn. I don't like it to get too dark. So I will wait a couple of minutes, get the pancetta cooking a little bit before I go ahead and add my garlic. I think I finally got this up where I need it. There we go. I have in here some dry Riesling, which I'm going to add to my risotto. I have about a cup to a cup and a quarter. And then the arborio rice, I have 2 cups. 2 cups of arborio rice. And these peas, just to let you know how I did cook them, I brought salted water to a boil, added my peas. These only took about 2 minutes because they were so fresh and so tender. So anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes, just taste as you go. And then I strained them and put them in a bowl of ice water. You want to stop the cooking. And I salted the ice water as well as the pot of water that I cooked them in. And that helps to keep them so nice and bright green like this. And so you can do this ahead of time. And then in regard to the pea shoots that I just showed you, I did the same thing. After I removed the peas, I took a nice bunch of pea shoots and I put them into the boiling water for about 20-25 seconds. Just enough to wilt it and cook it a tiny bit, and then into the ice water, squeezed out the water, and then just chopped it up a little bit. So I have about, I would say right now, after it's been already blanched, maybe a little more than a quarter of a cup, more like a third of a cup. So this is sauteing very nicely. I'm not used to cooking on one of these little portable stoves. I really want to just get this right on the stove right now. But it's doing very well. So we'll just be patient and we can talk about the thyme, which is also going to go in. It's 1 sprig of thyme. You can chop it a little bit. So this pancetta has been cooking for about 3 minutes, and hopefully you can see it. You see how I have the onions pushed to the side so the pancetta can brown nicely, which it has. It looks really, really good. So now we can go ahead, stir it all together, and add our garlic. Oh, that looks and smells wonderful. So you could use regular bacon if you didn't have pancetta. You could use regular bacon. You could also use prosciutto if you wanted to. You could use Canadian bacon if you'd like, or you can keep it totally vegetarian and don't put any meat in at all. Okay, so we're going to throw in our garlic, 3 cloves minced, and give that a good stir. And now's a good time to put in our fresh thyme also to flavor our risotto. So our next ingredient is our 2 cups of risotto. That's going to go right in with all of our vegetables and meat. Now this, you want to stir for a good 3 minutes or so, because what you want to do first is coat all of the rice with the fat that's in the pan. This has been cooking for a good 3 minutes now, 3 to 4 minutes. And you can actually hear the rice drying out, which is really good. And now our next ingredient is our wine. And you want to add the wine all at once and reduce it completely till the wine is completely gone. And this was a dry Riesling that I used here. So you just stir it around a little bit until the wine is completely reduced. So the wine is almost completely gone. And once it is, that's when we will slowly start adding our stock, about 1 cup at a time. So let me just show you what it looks like right now. Hopefully you can see that. You see how the bottom is dry? So now we're ready to add our stock. So we'll start with a cup to start, and then maybe just a ladle full at a time after that. Keeping your stock nice and warm. And at this point, once you add your first amount of stock is when you want to set your timer. This should take anywhere from 18 to 20 minutes. I am setting my timer for 20 minutes. I'll certainly taste it probably before then. And what you need to do is wait until the stock is completely absorbed into the rice before you add another ladle. And don't overdo it. I think this is a, let's see, what is this? This is a 4-ounce ladle. So you can do 4 ounces at a time. And I will show you what it looks like before we go ahead and add another ladle of stock. So what's really important with risotto, as anything in cooking, is your mise en place. You need to have everything ready. One other ingredient that is going to go in here. Most risottos are finished off with butter, plenty of it, and Parmesan cheese. Today we're going to keep this much lighter. We won't put in any butter, we won't put any Parmesan cheese. The other ingredient is mascarpone cheese, which is very readily available. So this mascarpone, we're going to use about 3 tablespoons of it. That's going to be finished off at the very end. And let me just show you. You can see how the rice is dry now. The bottom is completely dry. That's when you want to add another ladle of your stock. And just continue this way. And you can taste after about 16, 18 minutes, give it a taste. You want your rice cooked, but you do want a little bit of a bite in the center. And that's when you know it's ready. And I would say about 3 minutes before it's completely done is when we will add all of our pea shoots and our peas into the risotto. And then at the very end, we'll finish with the mascarpone. So just keep taking your time, relax, maybe pour yourself a glass of wine, and enjoy this process. This is really very wonderful, very delicious, and it's beautiful to make. It's a real, for me, risotto is a real treat. I really look forward to this every once in a while. So once it has absorbed this half a cup, this 4 ounces, I'm going to go ahead and put in another ladle. And it is actually ready now. So you just keep with this process, and when you have about 3 minutes left on your timer is when you can go ahead and add your peas and pea shoots. So I have about 2.5 minutes left on my timer, so this is a really good time for me to go ahead and taste the rice to see where I'm at before I go ahead and add my peas and pea shoots. Yeah, I think it's ready. So we will put in our peas and pea shoots, and of course a ladle of stock. Let me just grab it here. Give that a good stir. Now I haven't seasoned it with any salt or pepper. I will season it with some black pepper. However, I don't believe I'm going to add any salt because the pancetta that I used seems to have enough salt in the risotto, so I don't think I'm going to need any additional salt. And I think we can add one last ladle. So just so that you know, you want to have this on medium heat throughout the cooking process, on medium. And you do want your risotto to always look nice, and I mean towards the end it's going to get nice and creamy. You don't want it too dry. I do have some chopped chives, which I'll save some for the top, but I'll also put some in the risotto as well. And I can go ahead and add some black pepper now. Another ingredient that you could use, if you do have a bottle of white truffle oil in your fridge, drizzle a little bit of white truffle oil over each bowl of risotto. And this is by D'Artagnan, which is a wonderful white truffle oil, would be delicious. So that's 20 minutes. So now I'm going to taste it to make sure the risotto is completely cooked. And we can plate. So let me just taste this. Make sure the risotto is, the rice is completely cooked. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's move this forward. I'm going to shut it off. And let's put in about 3 tablespoons of mascarpone. I would say that should do it. And just stir that. That'll give a really nice creamy texture and wonderful flavor. This looks lovely, and you can hopefully see the beautiful texture of the risotto. It's quite heavy, so I'm just going to set that back down, and I will take one more taste. Perfect. Okay, so let's grab our pea shoots, and we could always put some Parmesan cheese shards over the top as well. So here are our beautiful pea shoots, which I will season with a little bit of black pepper and just a pinch of salt. You could use lemon oil too here. I'm just going to use a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, but you certainly could use lemon oil. You do want to make sure it's nicely seasoned though. Nice, very nice. Shut that off. Risotto down. Actually, let me use this. I think you can see how beautiful and green the peas are, which looks really nice. I think this would be plenty of risotto for 6 people. Depending on how much, the portion size. Okay, there's one portion. And if you wanted to, you could put, I just use a peeler to just peel off of a wedge of Parmesan cheese here. You could put a few pieces of Parmesan cheese on top. Another thing you could do if you wanted to, you don't have to, is you could put a small, just a small quenelle, just a small bit of mascarpone right on the top. And then top it off with some of the pea shoots, which gives it another nice, lovely texture. And if you want to, and you have some extra stock, you can always drizzle around the bowl just a little bit of stock. And that is our beautiful risotto. I'm going to come around so that you can actually see the dish. I put a small portion in here, but there's definitely enough for 6 people. There we have our beautiful risotto. You can see the beautiful peas, Parmesan, pea shoots. There you have it, it's beautiful. Nice and light and very flavorful. Okay, we're ready to serve. I'm going to serve about lunch outside. It's beautiful here today, 82 degrees and gorgeous. And he'll talk to you about some wine that he thinks will go very nicely with this risotto. Be right back.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bob. I'm the wine director. We had a first take which was outstanding. We had a technical problem that I don't want to say it was Suzanne, but a little technical problem. So I'm hoping that take 2 is as good as take 1. Anyways, my choice with the risotto is 2011 Red Tail Ridge semi-dry Riesling. Red Tail Ridge is over yonder on the west side of Seneca Lake. It is a well-renowned winery. The couple, Nancy and Mike, that own the place do a great job. In 2019 and 2020, they're the only Finger Lakes winery to be nominated as a semi-finalist for a James Beard Award. So hopefully they get that honor. They are very into sustainability, and they are LEED certified. I believe the only LEED certified winery in the Finger Lakes. Anyways, semi-dry Riesling can mean anything. Somebody's semi-dry Riesling can be bone dry. Somebody else's semi-dry Riesling can be really sweet. To me, theirs is right in between where you want it, where my palate wants it to be. So it's not bone dry. There's a little bit of sweetness to it, but a lot of acidity and a wonderful long-lasting finish. So here's the process, right? This beautiful risotto is elegant, and it's going to go down, and it's going to be, the taste is going to just linger in your mouth. You're going to take a sip of this gorgeous wine, and it is going to produce some, or has some acidity, cleanse your palate, and is also going to have this wonderful long-lasting finish. It's soft, just like the risotto. It's wonderful. 2011 Red Tail Ridge semi-dry Riesling. 2011 ages, just like me, it ages. Cheers. Be good.
Well, thanks everyone. I hope that you enjoyed the class. Risotto is one of our favorite dishes. We so enjoy it. It's a beautiful day to be out here on Seneca Lake. Thanks so much, Bob, for your wonderful pairing. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to have a little bite.
That's a good idea.
Is that wonderful? Now let me try out my wine tasting. My wine pairing.
Yeah.
Oh, go buy this bottle of wine. You can't buy it. Just get the current vintage. Hopefully it'll be as good. I'm sure it will be. Go make some risotto. Have a party. Enjoy life.
And get outside, enjoy this beautiful weather. It's spectacular here in the Finger Lakes. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We so enjoy sharing so much with you, all these wonderful classes. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye now.